Hi, I'm Anna Clawson, and this is my skills analysis 2 of throwing and passing. So I'll be comparing the rubric I made against 3 different participants, beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and our intermediate participant is going to be partaking in an impaired simulation, and I'll be scoring it with needs improvement for 1 point, fair for 2, good for 3, and excellent for 4 points. These are the 4 overarching categories in my rubric. So we have the preparation, which is even before the throw. This is just the body position, feet shoulder width apart, good grip on the ball, and eyes focus on the target. And then arm action, which is the movement of the throwing arm. This includes proper wind up, the elbow leading the throw, and the arm accelerating forward in a fluid motion. And then trunk and hip rotation. So this is the rotation of the hips and then the shoulders. And then the follow through, which is after the ball release, the arm continues in a full, complete arc across the body. I split my whole main rubric up into 4 sections just so it's easier to look at. So this is the preparation section. For body position, for excellent, we're looking at side to target, feet shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent and consistently aligned. And a good grip on the ball is with only the fingertips and complete focus on the target. Next, we have arm action, which for excellent includes a controlled fluid wind-up that sets up a powerful throw. When the elbow is leading the throw, the elbow should be at shoulder height or higher, and the throwing motion should be complete fluid, full range of motion. Next, we have trunk and hip rotation. So for ideal shoulder rotation, we have shoulders rotating fully and in sync with hips. For hips, we have hips going ahead of shoulders, so hips and then shoulders and then the arm goes. We have for weight transfer, a strong early weight transfer from the back foot to the front foot. Finally, for ideal follow through, we have an arm going all the way across the body in a complete arc and the back foot naturally lifting and stepping forward and maintaining complete balance. Now we're looking at our beginner participant. This is my boyfriend's younger brother who doesn't have a ton of throwing experience. As you can see, he's not 100% focused on his target, and he's gripping the ball with his palms and not his fingers. His elbow didn't really lead in the throw, and he didn't have a full shoulder rotation. He had good weight transfer and good balance, but his back foot didn't follow all the way through, and he didn't really have much of a follow through with his arm either. This is my complete rubric, so this is how he was looking on here. As you can tell, he needed a little bit of help with his grip on the ball as he was holding it mostly with his palm, and he needs help with his shoulder rotation as well as they stayed mostly stationary. He did really well with his balance though, and everything else was pretty fair to good. Here's a more concise look at his score, and as you can tell, he got a 28 out of 48 total points. Next is our intermediate participant. This is my boyfriend, and he's just a little bit older than his brother and has a little bit more experience. So you can see he's pretty focused on his target and has good body position. He holds the ball mostly with his fingers, but could use a few adjustments. His elbow is leading, but it's not all the way up to the correct height. And he has good fluid arm motion, and his shoulders are rotating, but kind of together instead of hip and then shoulder. And his arm follows through, but is a little bit stiff. So here's how our intermediate participant was looking on the rubric. As you can tell, what he could really work on is his wind up, as he had a limited range of motion. It was just a little bit of a shortened wind up, and his back foot didn't really lift up a whole lot. Here's that same little overview with our intermediate analysis, and he ended up with a 39 out of 48. Next, we have our advanced participant. This is my boyfriend's older brother who plays college baseball. As you can see, he has a really good grip on the ball with just his fingers. He has good body position with a good wind up. His elbow is really well positioned as well with a fluid arm motion too. His shoulders and hips are rotating in sync, and his arm follows all the way across his body, making that complete arc. This is how the advanced participant was looking on the rubric. The only thing is that his back foot didn't lift all the way. And this is how he was looking here with a score of 47 out of 48. Finally, we have our impaired simulation. This is the intermediate participant with goggles to simulate visual impairment and only one shoe on to simulate poor balance. As you can see, he still has pretty good body position, but he's a little bit shaky in general, with a little bit of a shaky wind up, and he has a double step because he's off balance with just the one shoe. His elbow still leads the throw, but it's even a little bit less in line, and he's not as focused on the target either, probably because of the goggles. And that's how this looked on the rubric. So he still had good body position and good arm follow through, but the windup was a bit shaky as he was off balance, and his throwing motion in general was pretty stiff. Without the impairments, he scored a 39, and then with, he scored a 36 out of 48. So he did go down a bit. Next, we have some factors impacting throwing skills. First, there's physical factors with strength and power, especially in the upper body, joint flexibility and range of motion, balance and coordination, and dominant side development, so right versus left-handed. Next, there's environmental, like weather conditions, wind, rain, or heat. Equipment, like ball size, it's different throwing a small ball versus a bigger ball. And lighting or visibility, sun in the eyes or very dark. And distractions or large crowds. And then there's conditional, so fatigue level, motivation and effort, and anxiety or pressure, and learning stage if you're a beginner or advanced. Finally, here are my sources, and that's it. Thank you.